federal interstate stalking charges resulting in Brian Thompson's death. He faces a maximum of life in prison. The trial is set to start in January.
Fox's Brian Yanez Mangione has been charged in both state and federal court in New York and still faces the possibility of a trial in the state case. His state trial is set to begin September 8th, but under New York law, a state prosecution could be barred if the federal case is resolved first, but it's not automatic. A jury of 6 men and 10 women have been selected to hear the case against a former gang member accused of planning the killing of Tupac Shakur nearly 30 years ago. Opening statements expected to begin Monday. The Department of Justice says it's found a pattern of sexual abuse at 2 California women's prisons, the Central California Women's Facility in Chowchilla and the California Institution for Women in Chino.
The DOJ finding the California Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation and 2 specific prisons in the state violated female prisoners' 8th and 14th Amendment rights by failing to protect them from sexual abuse by staff. Officials giving California 49 days to implement mandatory recommendations at prisons, including expanded camera coverage and improved staff training.
Fox's Kristen Goodwin. The 5th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals has restored several parts of a 2021 Texas election law that overhauled mail-in and assisted voting, overturning the block on those provisions issued by a lower court. Wall Street stocks rose to record highs. The Dow gained 69, the Nasdaq plus 214, the S&P up 50 points. The price of Brent crude, the international standard, fell 2.1%. America's listening to Fox News.
When I hit my 50s, I felt like things were slowing down.
This is Sandra's Metamucil story.
I started taking Metamucil for digestion, but had no idea it would impact so much more. Not only did Metamucil help me feel more regular, but my heart health saw the benefits too.
Metamucil. One simple routine, 4 health benefits. Digestive health starts here. Go to Metamucil.com for more details.
Ice Cube's Big 3 season is heating up, and it all comes down to this. The Big 3 playoffs are coming to Dallas, Texas. The 4 best teams in the Big 3 battle it out for a spot in the championship. The action starts with the legendary Big 3 Celebrity Game. 3 games of the most physical, competitive, and non-stop 3-on-3 action. The game played the way you love. Watch live Saturday on CBS at 12 p.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific, and catch replays Monday on BET.
Yay! Good afternoon. Heavy traffic right now, as expected this time of the afternoon. Trying to get past Donaldson Pike over here, 40 East, out through Hermitage, headed into Wilson County. It's slow there, 40 East where it connects with 840, just outside of Lebanon there, in that section of Wilson County with the fair going on. Lots of extra traffic there around the fairgrounds. Just be patient. Give yourself extra travel time in that area. Hey, if you're having transmission problems, come to Amco Transmissions, 3020 Nolensville Pike. These guys are absolutely the best. I'm Commander Chuck, your on-time traffic.
Listen each weekday morning at 9 o'clock for the Roundtable here on News Radio WGNS. Interesting hosts and guests with the news, views, politics, sports, and people that are shaping Rutherford County. Here on News Radio WGNS. Rutherford weather.
A heat advisory continues until 7 p.m. Sunday night. Lows around 75 tonight under partly cloudy skies. I'm WGNS meteorologist Derek Height. Currently 89.
We do it your way, Sir Pizza.
Join the team at Murfreesboro's favorite pizza restaurant. Sir Pizza is now hiring at all 3 locations. Come by and be part of the team at Sir Pizza.
We're the Good Neighbor Network, FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, audio and video streaming at wgnsradio.com.
From the first pitch to the final buzzer, this is where the conversation starts. All sports talk on WGNS and Big G TV, covering the Preps, MTSU, news from Tennessee and nationwide. Now, here's All Sports Talk on the Good Neighbor Network.
Good afternoon. Welcome to All Sports Talk. Monty Hale is here. That's me. Back in the house. Wow. It's been a long time since I've been up here to WGNS to do a show. Been a long battle, working my way back for some health issues, but feeling pretty good these days, and very thankful for that. You know what? It's football season. It's here. Fall camps have opened for college teams. High schools start next Friday night, believe it or not. Probably a couple Thursday night games too, I believe. I think there's a TV game Thursday night on Channel 30 if you follow them. So it's here. With that in mind, I'm not going to come up here and do this by myself. I got Preston O'Neill today, and typically have him every week. Preston's out in Oklahoma. Preston, how are you?
I'm doing great, Monty. Other than the fact that we're hovering around 100 degrees every day and have been for the last couple of weeks. So it's hot out here as we are fully experiencing the old El Nino.
Well, we're not putting any on jackets here in the borough by any stretch of the imagination. It is just hot. It's that time of the year, really. The summer we had a couple weeks there were pretty bad. We've had some pretty less than seasonable weather here, but it looks like it's coming back. But we got a lot of football to go over.
By the way, Monty, happy to be back for one more year. Me and you, baby.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I don't know where to start. I've got things going on all over the place here. Let's start with
Monty,
this.
This is over 22 years.
I know it.
32. We started in 94.
I think
so what is that, 32 years?
Yeah, 30 years, yeah.
No, 22 years.
Yeah, 22 years.
No, 32.
26, yeah.
Whatever that math works out.
Long dadgum time, I know that. So
that's right. They pay me to talk to people, not to do math.
That's right. Hey, I tell you what, we'll start off with the Senate did not vote on the Protect College Sports Act before its August recess, putting the bill's chances, of course, of passage in a pretty precarious spot once the lawmakers return. It's a blow for college sports leaders who have invested millions of dollars and thousands of hours lobbying for a federal solution to a series of issues, including player compensation, that have left administrators, coaches, and others deeply frustrated. Now, I'm sure that is frustrating for the leaders, the NCAA, because the NCAA can't get out of its own way. It's hard to, explain some of the decisions it makes. And that's not, and to add to that, Congress, they maybe got a few other items a little more important than sports right now.
Well, yes, I think they do. Of course, the midterms are coming up. And some of the stuff that I've read and listened to said that this is not going to be all that important. And that if you get on the campaign trail, you will probably not hear one person running for election talk about, well, we're supporting the College Sports Act. So, I think there's other distractions besides getting this done. And by the time they get all the amendments added to it, there's no telling what's going to be in that bill.
Yeah, there might be a museum somewhere in Wyoming that gets plugs some money in this bill. I mean, you never. Hey, they're shady characters. Let's face it. I don't trust any of them. So
No, neither. I think there's one amendment that was added that said that by a senator from Florida that any of the Big Four would not be restricted from joining another conference. So there's one change to it.
Yeah. Oh, well. Speaking of the NCAA, a little closer to home, former Smyrna standout, Arian Carter, suspended 2 games for getting a plane ticket to go to the draft, which he was planning on going to the draft, changed his mind, didn't go to the draft, and he paid the money back for the ticket, and they suspended him for 2 games. Now, this is why people don't like the NCAA. It's like they're so mad at university here, ex-university there, and they can't do nothing to them, or to athletes that are transferring and making money. They can't do nothing about that. Okay, we're just going to hammer Arian Carter, an honor student.
Yeah, it looks like overkill to me. It is outside the rules, but he made it right. in theory, it is outside the rules. He made it right. He didn't use the ticket. I think there's some strong argument for grace. But things like this, Monty, are going to continue to stir the rumors about a super league with the SEC and Big Ten, which, I think is a big possibility that they're going to get tired of dealing with Congress. They're going to get tired of dealing with the NCAA, and they're just going to form their own league.
I tell you what, years ago, Tom Five-Ash, Coach Five, when he was coaching at MTSU, this had to be 30 years ago, told me one day there will be a conference of 60 to 80 teams, and they will operate by their own board of directors and will not be part of the NCAA.
Well, we're headed that direction.
Yeah, closer and closer. I think closer and closer every year. So,
well, Tommy, Coach Five-Ash is one of the finest people I know. He's having some health issues now. We want to wish him all the best.
Absolutely.
But he was not only is a really good human being, he's a really smart guy.
Yes, and like I said, he was really on to something there. Okay, we'll move on. Let's see. Oh, I heard this, I don't know, a couple weeks ago. I don't know if you have. About SMU and their new athletic building. Have you heard about that?
I have not.
Okay, listen to this. You want to talk about absurdity? SMU has named its new football complex the Kevin Jennings Recovery Center. They did that in July, honoring active senior quarterback Kevin Jennings. He is the first. He is believed to be the first active football player in the nation to have an athletic facility named after him while still on the roster. This building was made possible through a generous donation by SMU Mustangs program donors Malcolm and Ann Holland. What about that? That's one way to keep an athlete there, I guess.
Guaranteed.
Never mind the couple. Never mind the Hollands who gave him the money.
Yeah, the Hollands had to approve it.
Wow.
And I would be willing to bet that the Hollands are deep into the oil business.
Probably are.
Because, in Texas, all that money's coming somewhere generated by the majority of it, by the oil business. A lot of oil money down there, Monty. A lot of oil money.
Yeah, it's pretty thick. There's a lot of oil. Okay. Coaches poll is out. Always interesting to look at that. Means nothing. But Ohio State's 1, Oregon's 2, Georgia 3, Texas 4, Notre Dame 5, Indiana 6. Indiana will be in. It's going to be interesting to see how they follow up this national championship, isn't it?
It will be. I don't doubt that they'll be in the run, that they'll be, in part of the Big Ten championship race. But it will be interesting to see how they follow through. Every year, Monty, there's someone that comes out of the back of the pack that you don't expect to be involved. And then there's somebody that disappoints, a couple people that disappoint. So it'll be interesting to see who falls into those categories this fall.
And their coach is afraid to speak what he thinks, is he? Sinjetti?
He tells what he thinks is the truth.
Of course,
and we pretty accurate.
We all know he was referring to the SEC when he said, the Big Ten Conference doesn't cry and doesn't make a bunch of excuses. They go out and play in the game of football, take care of their business, and that's why it's the best conference in America.
Well, it needs to go back about 5 years. And listening to them whine when the SEC, when Alabama and Clemson were back and forth, and they weren't involved. So it's a cycle, money. It cycles in and out. The Big Ten right now is the big dog. The SEC had been for a long time, with Clemson falling in there. So we'll see how all this begins to play out, and 9 conference games in the SEC make it that much tougher. They're all talking about the middle of the pack. One conference is tougher than the other, and but it all ends up who the best team is that can get hot during the playoffs toward the end of the season and has a record that gets them in. And Indiana, Ohio State, and Michigan have been those teams over the past 3 years.
Yeah, and certainly been the strongest up top. I still think probably top to bottom, the SEC is still probably the best conference. But certainly the Big Ten's got the bragging rights right now,
Well, yeah, and they went undefeated in the bowl games against SEC teams. So, then I don't really put a lot of thought or weight to that because of the transfer portal and because of people, they lay out because of the draft and all the things that go on that time of year. Because the motivation to play in the bowl games is gone. If you're in the playoffs, then that's a little different. But if you're in the bowl game right now, what difference does it make?
All righty. Clemson, by the way, you mentioned them a minute ago, all the way down to 24. They have kind of joined the transfer portal game. How much regret you think Dabo Swinney has not taking part of that game when it started? Because, let's face it, the program went down afterwards.
Well, I'm sure there's some second thought on how those things transpired and his decisions not to do that. It cost Mike Gundy his job at Oklahoma State, too, because he wouldn't participate, and it cost him his job. So it is the way of the world today, and you either get on board or you don't. And if you don't get on board, then you're going to fall behind. And they've fallen behind. So, they decided to join what everybody else is doing, and it'll be interesting to see if they can get back to the top-tier teams in the country.
All right, the SEC, as far as the poll, again, Georgia's 3, and then the next top-rated team is that Texas A&M at 9, Oklahoma 10, Ole Miss 11, Alabama 12, LSU 13, and Tennessee 19 and 18. Tennessee 18, and I believe that's a little overrated myself, but we shall see. All right, you're listening to All Sports Talk. The coach, Preston O'Neill, joining us for another year. We'll take a break, and we'll be right back.
Hey folks, it's Chip Walters from Exit Realty Bob Lamb & Associates, helping Middle Tennessee make smart moves in a fast-moving market. Whether you're buying, selling, or just exploring your options, you deserve someone who knows this community and treats your goals like their own. From first-timers to long-time homeowners, I'm here to guide you with clarity, confidence, and a steady hand. When you're ready to make the next move, start with someone you trust. Visit ChooseChip.net and let's make your 2026 move the right move.
First Shot transforms Rutherford County youth. Coach Andy Herzer leads dynamic basketball camps and clinics, building skills and character since 2003. Kids dive into exciting STEM projects, sparking creativity through hands-on coding, art, and dance. They elevate their mind, spirit, and body in summer and winter programs. Visit FirstShotTN.org today to learn more. First Shot, where kids gain, elevate, and develop.
Hi, I'm Wade Hayes, owner of Toots Good Food and Fun. I strongly believe that volunteers make a positive difference in the quality of life here in our community.
Shannon Beckman is proud of the historic downtown Murfreesboro Business District. Not only is she past chair of Main Street Murfreesboro, but she's always looking for ways to preserve the history of that part of our city, which was once this state's capital. She loves to create opportunities that bring longtime residents as well as newcomers together and enjoy the benefits of our historic square. Thank you, Shannon Beckman.
At Toots, we strongly believe that it's important for every one of our citizens to give some of their time and talent back into the community. And we want to honor these individuals with a Toots gift certificate good at any of our Rutherford County locations. 860 Northwest Broad Street, on Church Street in the Barfield area, in Smyrna on Sam Ridley, and Toots West on Franklin Road at Rucker Lane.
Life changes, then it changes again. Hi, I'm Edward Jones Financial Advisor Lee Colvin. A job loss, change in health, or loss of a loved one can have a big impact on your family's financial security. Let's work together to help make sure that you're equipped for life's unexpected events. Stop by our office in the Public Shopping Center on South Rutherford Boulevard or give us a call at 615-907-7056 for an appointment. Edward Jones, Making Sense of Investing, member SIPC.
Roscoe Brown has been Middle Tennessee's go-to for all HVAC and plumbing needs since 1940. Our commitment, you ask? It's to provide you with not just services, but solutions that bring comfort, efficiency, and peace of mind. From the heat of summer to the cold of winter, our expert team ensures your home environment is exactly how you want it. Perfect. Trust in Roscoe Brown for all your HVAC and plumbing needs, where your family's comfort has been our priority for over 80 years. RoscoeBrown.com.
Good afternoon. Still trying to wrap up this wreck. 24 westbound, right near 440. Of course, the heaviest flow right there in that area is going eastbound, out through Antioch towards Murfreesboro. We got some accidents out here. Allow yourself extra time, especially anywhere in Wilson County around that fair. It started today around the fairgrounds. Soon to be busy for the next couple of weeks. Watch for a radar also up and down I-40 in Wilson County. STR Towing and Recovery says call them 24/7 any county here in Middle Tennessee. I'm Commander Chuck, your on-time traffic.
It's all sports talk from the Good Neighbor Network, FM 1019, 100.5, AM 1450, wgnsradio.com, and Big G TV.
Welcome back to All Sports Talk, joined today by the coach, Preston O'Neill. All right, Preston, high school football right around the corner, and some interesting things are going on. And I would imagine that they're probably going to work themselves out, but, you know, this is the first year where athletes can pretty much go wherever they want to go to school. That's the new TSS rule. Pardon me. The misnomer of this thing, though, is, Preston, you want to go, let's say you want to leave and go to whatever, Oakland, Riverdale, wherever, Blackman, Rockville. It's just not as simple as just showing up and saying, I'm here. Now, while the TSSAA says you can transfer, there still has to be room for you at that school. You still have to go through how an individual board of education in per county handles transfers. That still trumps anything over the TSSAA. So just because you want to go play, let's say, offensive tackle at wherever, they got to have a spot for you at the school. And that has caused some, from what I understand, some early preseason issues that they're, right now, some players may be not even eligible yet.
So the boards of education is going to be the one that's judging the depth chart?
I guess so. I mean, you would imagine the school would work a 5-star player into their school somewhere, but you still got to, you know, if they're capped, they're capped.
Well, we'll end up in court. You know, everything ends up in court these days.
Oh, yeah.
So, you know, that makes absolutely no sense to me that the Board of Education is going to make that decision. And every coach out there is looking for a way to manipulate the system. So.
And I'm hearing every school is involved in this in some way, with the exception of Smyrna, Laverne, and Stewart's Creek. So it'll be all 5 Murfreesboro schools. So we'll see how that plays itself out next Friday, as who's all eligible.
Okay, so let me help me understand this, just so I make sure I've got this right. The high schools in Rutherford County are all county schools. So is there a county board of education, or is there only a city board of education?
No, there's a county board of education, I think.
Okay.
I mean, I know that they, when they decide, I know their calendar is not necessarily identical, I don't think. I know when they have school that, when we have bad weather, the city has its own decision makers, whether school's in session or not, versus the county. So, but that's a good question. I want to say the Board of Education is over everything, but I could be wrong. So,
Well, I don't know either, but it sounds like it's a complete and total chaos, to put it kindly, and how that's going to work.
I mean, it could. I don't know enough. It could be, or it might just be a couple little formalities that need to be taken care of. But it's not as I guess what I'm saying is it's not as simple as just showing up. Hey, Monty's here. I'm ready to play starting quarterback for you. It's.
And I'm going to retract anything I've said about this because I don't understand it and have enough knowledge about it to have a very good opinion. So.
Yeah, it could be a bunch of nothing, but I know there's some players as of recently were not eligible. So we'll see how all that plays out. I do know that Rockvale's got a couple issues. Evidently, them in Beach Friday before last had a scrimmage, and afterward, when they were shaking hands, there was a little brawl happened, and 5 players, I think a couple from Beach, 3 from Rockvale were, you got to remember, in these scrimmage games, they use actual high school referees, and they're treated the same as any other game, and if there's, something of this nature, a report is filed, they look at the film, and anyway, 3 suspensions for Rockvale and a couple for Beach, so not a good start for them. I do understand that Coach Counts had a come to meeting about all of this at practice Monday. There was I don't think
sure he did.
I don't think there was any footballs laying around, if you know what I mean.
I fully understand, and good for him. That probably same thing happened at Beach.
Yeah, I mean you can't, you just can't do it.
No.
And your school gets fined, you get put on probation, and you can eventually, it becomes a problem, a problem, be banned from the playoffs. So, anyway.
Not good.
All right, we'll move on. Something positive. Preston, we've got a lot of talented football players in this county. Did you know that?
I did. I always do.
Yes, with the growth, just think about this. Okay, I'll go over some players who have committed. The 13th rate prospect in the state is Princeton Uwafo from Siegel. He's a mere 6'7", 330, offensive and defensive lineman. He's committed to UT. Brylan Odur, Riverdale, wide receiver, is transferred from Blackman. He's the 20th player in the state, has committed to Auburn. 2 Rockvale players have committed to Maryland. They're rated 29th and 31st in the state, and Dallas Paldo and Jaden Agbarodiola. And I know I butchered that, but I know he's about 6'3", 350.
There's some big fellas.
Yeah, both those kids are big, good players. Sutton Gutting, Riverdale, an athlete, is committed to Mississippi State. Their quarterback, Gavin Hampton, who had a big year last year, committed to Mississippi State. Hudson Fuquay from Riverdale, committed to Mississippi State. James Stewart, offensive lineman, a transfer. He is committed to Arkansas. Ty Duncan, Riverdale, is committed to Memphis. Julius Malden, Riverdale, has committed to Charlotte. And they also have a sophomore receiver that's going to be a big-time recruit as well, Trichter, who had a great year as a freshman last year. So, and if you want to go back over that, Riverdale's got 5 SEC commitments. So, at least on paper,
that's a pretty strong team.
It looks on paper they look pretty loaded because you got, like I said, you got a Memphis kid, you got a Charlotte kid, and you've got another receiver that's going to play at a high level in college. So,
Monty, did you say Oakland in any of those kids?
I did not mention Oakland.
That is absolutely amazing because I know they've got SEC kids over there.
Oh, yeah.
So they just must not have been committed yet.
Probably not. They lost a lot, particularly on defense. They've only got 3 starters back on offense. Defense. Offensively, Oakland has got their offensive line back, and Jacob Vaughn, outstanding running back, who was at Riverdale, transferred to Oakland, is there. Last year they ran 2 quarterbacks. One was a freshman. He will be probably the full-time guy. The other one's going to play receiver and running back. And they've got a couple running backs that were there last year. Oakland's going to be fine offensively. As a matter of fact, I think they're going to be absolutely loaded offensively. It's what they can do defensively. They were pretty nasty last year on defense. So, who knows? Certainly looks pretty good. Riverdale looking like going to have one of their better teams that they have, especially under Coach Kreisky.
Good for them. Just a couple comments. We'll see how those kids' commitments hold up. If they have great years, they may get better opportunities. And it'll be interesting. You still got to beat Oakland, Monty. Going into the season, you can't say that they won't reload. They've done it in the past where they lost a number of starters and come back and been just as good as they have in years that passed. Their schedule requires them that they have to be better or as good going forward, or the early part won't be, they traditionally play somebody from out of state that's nationally ranked.
Yeah,
so,
they go to Ohio this year. They open up at CPA. They go to Pearl Cone. So, yeah, they've got a non-region schedule, that's for sure. And as you said, somebody's got to beat them. And,
somebody got to beat them.
So, Blackman, they lost some players, but they got a quarterback that transferred in from Bowling Green, Kentucky. They're excited about. So, those going in, those look like the 3 teams as always, and then you've got everybody else battling for the 4th spot. But, who knows? I think Siegel last year had a really good chance to get in the playoffs and let a game slip away they should have won. Rockvale, who knows? They'll win a game you that'll turn your head and surprise you, but then they'll lose one that'll surprise you. That's kind of been what they've done since opening their doors. But
yeah, I think that's the things that Coach Counts will. The longer he's there, the more consistent they'll be there. He had a great run at Henry County. He's a heck of a good football coach. And getting his program takes a little time. Takes a little time to get them accustomed to winning because they hadn't won in the past.
Yeah, he's won. He knows how to build a winning football team. He does. Coming from Henry County. Oh, the old age factor kicks in. I covered him when he was at MTSU as an offensive lineman.
And a good one.
He's still a big old boy, too. I don't think...
there's a lot of great examples for him to look at. He coached for his dad for a long time. That was very successful.
Right.
And coached with him in a couple of places as they were assistants and, played for Coach Donnelly for him to go out on Monday with no footballs and have a very interesting practice session. Sounds about right.
Yeah, and you mentioned Oakland. Somebody's still got to beat Oakland. Now, when I say they lost 8 starters, they did. But they had a lot of sophomores that played. There's one thing about Oakland. Granted, these guys that are going to be stepping into starting roles this year, they've never been there. It's different when you're the guy. However, they get a lot more playing time than most schools do because they're so far ahead by halftime. So they may be juniors who played as, you think, well, they played a little bit. No, they played quite a bit as sophomores. They see a lot of playing time. I think that's one thing that helps them. And, they got a winning culture there. They come from a winning culture before they get there because, Oakland Middle's won so much as well.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, when was the last time that Oakland didn't win the middle school championship?
It's been a long time, It's
been a long time. They're accustomed to winning.
And there's a lot to be said for that,
A lot.
There's a program for winning. All righty. You're listening to All Sports Talk, joined today by the coach, Preston O'Neill. We'll take a break, and we will be right back.
At State Farm, when home and auto work as a team, you score and save money. I'm State Farm agent Andy Wama. Give me a call at 615-890-0850 and let's work together to win big by saving money on home and auto. With the service you get from State Farm, you might think our car insurance costs more. I'm State Farm agent Andy Wama. Give me a call at 615-890-0850 and let me show you with discounts up to 40%. You may find it even costs less.
Clark's Auction Company will get you top dollar for your property.
Auctions are easy, fast, and profitable.
I've always been a big fan of auctions. Get instant sale, no contingencies.
That means the sale of your property won't depend on an inspection, financing, or appraisals.
I've known the guys over there my entire life.
Call Parks Auction and Realty or visit parksauction.com.
Clark's Auction Company will get you top dollar for your property.
Clark's Auction Company, committed to auction excellence.
Sold it to you, 27.5.
Holden Hardware now has an e-commerce site. Go to doitbest.com/Holden-hardware and shop all the items in our warehouse. You can have them shipped directly to you, or most items can be shipped for free to Holden Hardware for pickup. Shop with us in person or go online to doitbest.com/Holden-hardware.
One more time.
doitbest.com/Holden-hardware.
Here's Dr. Craig McCabe at McCabe Vision Center.
We deliver state-of-the-art care by state-of-the-heart people.
I can see clearly now.
I've
difficult eyes to do contacts with, and they test them and they work with me a lot on getting the right contacts. And now I have glaucoma, and they're working with that to make sure that that's treated accurately.
McCabe Vision Center.
I definitely would recommend them.
McCabe Vision Center on Heritage Park Drive, just off Memorial, behind SunTrust Bank.
Time to salute the Doug Young Educator of the Month, presented by WGNS and City Tile and Floor Covering. We're spotlighting Matthew and Mary Ellen Smith. They are both teachers at Riverdale High School in the theater department.
I decided to become an educator after watching my wife for 4 years and working with her, building her sets and doing those things. I really enjoyed working with the students.
I absolutely love it. I understand why God put me here because I think I was meant to be an educator. Something that I would like to accomplish, seeing one of my former students actually be on Broadway or in a big movie or a TV show, something so that these other kids can see that it is attainable.
I agree with Mary Ellen. That would be really, really awesome, because we would be willing to go travel pretty much anywhere to watch them in that performance.
Matthew and Mary Ellen Smith at Riverdale are the Doug Young Educator of the Month, proudly sponsored by City Tile and Floor Covering on Spring Street.
Next on All Sports Talk, it's the Blue Raider Insider Report with Chip Walters of Exit Realty, Bob Lamb & Associates.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. Middle Tennessee women's soccer opens its 2026 season tonight when it welcomes Troy to Dean Hayes Soccer Stadium this evening. The season opener also marks the beginning of the season-long celebration of 30 years of Blue Raider soccer, starting with a game day poster, a keychain, all available at the marketing table while supplies last. Head coach Aston Roden entering his 25th season at the helm of Blue Raider soccer, having amassed a 225, 185, and 45 record since taking over in 2002. The Blue Raiders are coming off a stellar 2025 season when it achieved its best record and highest win total since 2012, improving upon its previous year's record for 3 seasons running. In Conference USA play, the Blue Raiders achieved a 5-2-1 mark, tying their highest Conference USA win total and securing their best tournament seed since 2021. The Blue Raiders are 10-10-4 in season openers under Coach Aston Roden, having won both their last season opener against Belmont and their home opener against Jackson State last season. And again, it all gets underway tonight at 7 o'clock at the Dean Hayes Track and Soccer Stadium. Blue Raider football working toward a Saturday scrimmage as they wind up their first full week of workouts in fall camp. And earlier this week, we had Media Day on campus, able to talk to several Blue Raider coaches and players. And during the press conference, quarterback Roman Gagliano talked about what the offense might look like this year.
I think, when you can assert and dominate the line of scrimmage, it makes my job easier. Obviously, he mentioned all the backs we have and how physical that O-line is. So if I got to hand the ball off 40 times a game, I'll do it gladly if we're up 20. You know what I mean? So I think he's good at knowing what we're good at and what we're going to do. So I think just owning the line of scrimmage is the biggest thing that we're focused on now.
Talking about the line of scrimmage, how would you describe this offensive line group that you got going for you?
Probably just fiery. Every day in practice. And it starts with Coach Brown, their offensive line coach. He comes out at 6:50 in the morning, and you can hear him probably from Swig up the street, just loud as can be, getting those guys fired up. No stretch, no nothing, and he's jumping all over the place. I think that's the biggest thing, is just having some energy and some fire about you is the biggest thing that you can tell the difference from last year probably.
How much does this wide receiver core that you have been throwing the ball to help you, your job as the quarterback behind center?
Yeah, it's awesome. Obviously I'm trying to be as perfect as I can, but I can miss here and there knowing that they're going to make a play for me. So I think if it's a one-on-one, there's no 50-50 balls. I think it's 70-30 our way. So my job is to put it in the air and let them go make plays.
The Blue Raider Athletic Association begins a new chapter of leadership this year with the appointment of a new board president and the addition of 5 Middle Tennessee State University alumni to its board of directors. On July 1st, Jonathan Harmon will assume the role did assume the role of the BRAA board president, succeeding Dr. David McKnight, who completed his term after years of dedicated service to Blue Raider athletics. Harmon will lead the volunteer board as it continues supporting Blue Raider athletics through fundraising, advocacy, and community outreach. Joining the BRAA board this month are fellow MTSU alums Russell Barnett, Lucy Birchfield, Brooks Crystal, Tim Wilson, and Sean Wright, each of who is beginning a 2-year term. Also, just a thought as the day comes to a close, our thoughts and prayers go out to the family of Larry Kirk, who passed away. Kirk, also a longtime active member of the Blue Raider Athletic Association, and was an award winner at last year's Donor Appreciation Dinner. So keep him and his family in your thoughts and prayers. That's it for today. More tomorrow here on the Big G, WGNS.
It's all sports talk from the Good Neighbor Network, FM 1019, 100.5, AM 1450, WGNSradio.com, and Big G TV.
Welcome back to All Sports Talk. Joined today by the coach, Preston O'Neill. Before we get on the show, I did want to bring a couple things up. I know this happened last week, but Buddy Powers, a longtime baseball coach here in the county, passed away. I grew up with Buddy. We went to the same church. We went to Riverdale together. Great guy. He's been sick. He lost his father the week before. So it's been a tough time for that family. So certainly thoughts and prayers for them. Buddy really built a strong program at Riverdale, took them to the state tournament, also took Central Magnet to the state tournament, won over 400 games. And he also was a freshman football coach at Riverdale and coached at middle school football, but always a great baseball man. And again, thoughts and prayers to his family. And Jim Toman, former MTSU baseball coach. Of course, Coach Toman was here 2 or 3 years. I really thought he was getting that program going on the right track for certain reasons. He resigned from that position, but he became ill and passed away last week. Won over 400 games as a baseball coach. He was 64 years old. Buddy was 63. And again, thoughts and prayers to their family. Both really, really good baseball guys and just really good guys you liked hanging out with. All right, we're moving on now. Preston, we'll look at MTSU. They've opened camp this week and really last week, getting ready for Murray State. And I know this. Coach Mason, he's really putting a lot of stock in Roman Gagliano, the quarterback. And I think for good reason. I mean, the guy comes in last year, the last 3 games, throws for over 1,000 yards, 7 touchdowns, no interceptions. And he's a guy that came in there and sat as a freshman, redshirted. And then last year, as a redshirt freshman, didn't play till, like I said, till an injury. And he played the last 3 games. But I'm hearing some great things about him, the way he throws the football, the way he runs the team. He knows the offense. And from an offensive standpoint, that's a good place to start.
Really good place to start. You know, and as you mentioned, really had a good experience, played really well in those 3 games. So that's a good place to start. And hopefully he can continue having really low turnovers and a high completion percentage.
And they signed a bunch of offensive linemen. They've probably got more offensive linemen they've had. Defensively, who knows? I mean, they've lost a bunch of people, and the player that was invited to the media on the defensive end was their punter. So who knows? And he's a very good punter, but so, you know, really, who knows what they have defensively. They're excited about the young players they have coming back. They feel like they've used the portal better. They're getting more guys that are going to come in and be productive right away. And, you know, who knows in their conference? Everybody's in similar boats. I mean, certainly Liberty picked to win it, Western right there, Jacksonville State. And, you know, I look at Middle. You know, last year they lost 4 games. They lost 4 conference games by 1 score less. They lost 5 games by a score less. They lost one by a point, and 3 by 3 points or less. So they were right there, but you got to learn how to close the deal. You got to learn how to win. You hear people say you got to learn how to win. You do, don't you? You've got to learn how to close and win games.
Yeah, you've got to learn how to finish the fourth quarter and make plays that are difference makers. So the tough part about, when we talk about this, the mid-majors can't keep a roster. So, you're bringing 60 guys in, trying to build a locker room in the spring that will carry over to the fall with guys that don't hardly know one another. And that's a difficult task. But middle's not the only one. All the mid-majors have that problem.
Well, we'll find out a little bit on September 5th. They play Murray State. You would like to think you could pencil that in as a win, but, you probably thought that last year against Austin Peay, and they came in here and ran all over you and made you look like fools. They can't afford to have another loss to an FCS team, but a Murray State team that's been very solid the last few years.
Monty, if you're going to get to the 6-win category, where you qualify for the bowl game, you got to win those games you're supposed to win. And it would be nice on those games that are toss-ups, or the one-year underdog, you could win a few of those too.
Yeah.
That's how you have successful seasons.
I know you say that, and I know a lot of people were ready for a change with Coach Stockstill, but they typically won a game, or sometimes even two, that they were underdogs that you didn't anticipate. So, we'll see if this team can do that. Week 2, they go to Marshall. Certainly not a Power 4 team, but a place they've never won. So everybody knows Marshall's got a good program. They've got Nevada, however you pronounce that, at home. They won 14-13 last year. Then they open up conference play at Jacksonville State, who's won the last 3 meetings. Whatever Jacksonville State's doing, they're doing a good job of it in every sport.
Yes, they are. Winning games in September is important. You get some non-conference games, as I've already said, that can get you started off, make you feel good about your team, and then you jump right in with Jacksonville State into a conference game. So, you got to getting a fast start is really good. They lost to Austin Peay last year, and then they went to Reno and won a game maybe they shouldn't have.
Yeah,
they shouldn't have won. Based on the records by the end of the year, and you've got to have some of those.
And the spread, and I pay attention to that.
Yes, you do.
Not because I gamble, just because I pay attention.
You're curious.
I want to know what Vegas says. All right, Blue Raiders' final non-conference game is at Kansas. Big 12 school, obviously a tough opponent, but you're not playing Texas Tech, okay? So,
no.
All right, you got Delaware at home. Delaware picked. They've got a good quarterback themselves. They're picked in the upper echelon. Go to FIU. They whipped Middle last year. Got Kennesaw State. Been 2 good games with them last year. Got Western. Hey, we lost 7 in a row to Western. The rivalry is losing its luster. You got to win every now and then.
Yes, you do.
Go to Liberty. Haven't beaten Liberty. Then they finished at Sam Houston and New Mexico State, 2 teams they beat last year to get to the 3-win mark. And Vegas right now on the over-under has them as 3.5 wins. So pick over or under on that if you are abetting man, which is legal now. I mean, so anyway.
Yes, it is. You know, and I'll be surprised, and I said this last year and got embarrassed, but I'll be surprised that Sam Houston is not considerably better.
Absolutely.
I just don't understand that.
They have a good tradition. They won a national championship in FCS.